Hey guys, it's WebSoak here. So today I have a bunch of tours on New Appalachia, the fictional city in Colorado, set in the early 1900s for now, anyway. So it's now 1902, February 28th. Some stuff has happened since the last upload. So the WMT line we're going to be showing today. There was a full ride of it, but some people asked for station tours, so I will tour some stations. This is now outdated, so this can go as well. The frame rate is low because I have the render distance super high, but I will put that back down shortly, and I have the extreme shaders on, so you can't have high render distance with extreme shaders. So yes, I will be showing the station. So this line opened July 1st, 1901. It's a WMT line. The WMT is my company on this world, my transit company. R38's Rail Fanning has his own company, the TLT, which he has also started a station for. Here's my headquarters. I showed this in the first episode, if I'm right, back in the year 1900. So it's been a year. Over a year now since I showed this in game. If you're new to this world, the years go up every other Tuesday. So as of the previous Tuesday, it is now 1902. So it's February 28th, 1902. Okay, so let's go over to my station over here. So this was a WMT station. This is on the Gordon Line, which is what we will be reviewing today. So WMT Gordon Line, Smithtown Road. You can see the signs are still white. It's taking a heavy inspiration from the BMT and IND lines that used to exist in New York City. Some inspiration from the IRT as well, but it's mostly going to be based off the BMT and a bit of IND as well. So the fare has increased. It's now 15 cents. It used to cost... I used to charge people 10 cents per ride, but yeah, 15 cents now. People were pretty pissed off about that, but if I'm extending it to 36th Street, so I have to increase the fare. That's sort of a given. Okay, so Gordontown Line to Cowboy Road. So the other side is no entry, last stop. So these are the exits at this station. There's actually no exits at Smithtown Road. They're all at Radowski Street and Swamplands Avenue. So let's head up. You can go up. There's two staircases here. And I will show you guys this view so I can lower the render distance. This station has a pretty good view if you have the render distance high enough. So over there you can see the New Appalachia News Building. So that's a company that publishes news in the city. You can see the start of the Kendall District, which starts at 1st Street, which is right there. That's right one street up, that's Alexandria Street, so that's still Smithtown. But one up is 1st Street, which is now cut off by the portal. So that's unfortunate, but this portal that I just built cuts it off. So, what are you going to do about that? But that's city development for you. So now you had a chance to see this view, so I can lower this and enjoy frames again. And there we go. So frames are back, right? So we have our frames back. There's the moon. Okay, so Smithtown Road. So this sort of takes inspiration off the Lexington Avenue elevated line in Brooklyn that used to exist in New York City. So it sort of looks like that. And yeah, so Smithtown Road. Here's my company's benches. They look like this for now. This is a 3-track station. Most stations at this time were 2 tracks that were elevated anyway. So this is the only 3-track station that you're going to see. You'll see what happens when we go a bit more south. So yeah, so this is Smithtown Road. So again, this line was opened July 1st, 1901. So all these stations opened at the same time because this is the Gordon Line. There's no route designations yet at this time. So we're still calling it the Gordon Line. Okay, so let's move on to the next station. So we can exit out over here. It's a bit dangerous to exit here, if I'm being quite honest. So of course, WMT sign. The WMT is a very prideful transit company, so prideful of its builds, so it puts WMT on all of them. It looks like some lightning glitched over there. So that's the Smithtown Road station. So there's not many buildings between here and Erie. So this part of Smithtown doesn't have many buildings yet, but this is a city world, so those will be, the gap in the buildings will be bridged soon. And I will be revisiting this section, this line in the future. So there will be more buildings added next time. So Swamplands Avenue and Kingdom Road, you can still see the other station over there. That's quite cool. Kingdom Road, so this is the next station. It's Kingdom Road, so it's still a cobblestone street. Pretty much all the streets except for a small section of 2nd Avenue are cobblestone right now, but the area that's being destroyed by cut and cover, those will be replaced with new asphalt roads. Asphalt is very uncommon in the Midwest at this time. You more so see it in the South and the East Coast in America at this time. So WMT Gordon Line, Kingdom Road Station. So it's called the Gordon Line because it terminates in the neighborhood of Gordon Town. So that's why it's called Gordon Line, if anybody is wondering where I have the name, where I got the name from. So the fare, again, 15 cents because we increased the fare since, 2nd Avenue extension. So fare goes up. Okay, so I've increased the fare. So over here, the entrance is pretty cool. It's like some of the J train stations that you see in real life. So this one is actually heavily inspired off of Crescent Street. So you can see the tracks right here. I'd imagine rail fanners would probably enjoy this one a lot. So yeah, that's cool. So let's go over here. There's one exit at this station. So exit Kingdom Road and Swamplands Avenue. So here's the platform. Again, it's a small canopy. It's like the Jamaica elevated line in New York, right? So you have a small canopy and a thin platform because the platform takes up the middle track, so it's not very wide. Although this might be standard for no, this is slim. This is a slim platform. So yeah, no middle track now. So the middle track is gone because it's going to be 2 lanes over here. But in the future, I might have some plans to upgrade parts of this to a 4-track line, but not over here. I'll show you guys that a little later in this video. So we can exit the station of Kingdom Road. So again, there will be buildings here at some point. But yes, that was Kingdom Road. So Kingdom Road has 1 exit staircase and then 2 exterior exits. So you can exit onto either the east or west side, but only the south side of Kingdom Road and Swamplands Avenue. So again, Swamplands Avenue is basically just 2nd Avenue South. So 2nd Avenue becomes Swamplands Avenue because the neighborhoods change, which causes a grid change. So the streets aren't aligned. Only 2nd Avenue and 1st Avenue remain aligned, but they're just renamed anyway for the hell of it. And 2nd Avenue now has a portal dividing it, so it just makes more sense. So a portal, if you don't know, is where subways transition from underground to elevated. There's a sewer as well in this world, so you can go down there. You can see it. It's down there. We're not showing that in this video, but yeah, that is a sewer cover. Let's make it a bit later so that... no, I don't want day. There we go. That's good. So we'll do that. So if we continue down here, it's quite a bit of a walk to the next station, actually. So we'll continue. Yep, let's continue south until we run into it. So New England Drive, so it should be close. Which one is this? Culver Street. So Culver Street's interesting. So Culver Street was going to have a spur built onto it. And there's another one, Westmont Road. So there was going to be a spur built there. However, due to the collapse of the ferry company, which was going to be served by the spur, there was going to be a ferry terminal at the spur. I decided to abandon it. So this station's weird now. It originally had an upper level, but it now has remnants of an upper level. So WMT Gordon Line, Washington Street. You can see the naming scheme changes at some stops. So let's go into the mezzanine. It's a bit dark. Okay, so I've added some lights, so now we can see. So entry Gordon Line, of course, the fare hike, 15 cents now. So we've entered. So this station is very strange. There's those exits there. Those are the exits of Washington Street and what's this one? And Ridge Street. Okay, so that's where those exit to. And of course Swamplands Avenue, because we're still above the same avenue. So you can come up here and you now notice that there is no roof. So there used to be another platform up there which was serving as the roof, but today it was torn down and demolished. So there is no roof over here. I'm sure they'll add that back though. The company, you know, it will fix these things up. But now there is an abandoned track bed up here and up here, which will just decay until something is done about it. So Washington Street, it does have a canopy over here because this part was planned to initially be uncovered. So it does have a canopy there. Of course, the platforms are still wooden. So you have your bench over there. Washington Street, lamps over here to light things up. Of course, that's where the train stops. And you can see down here with the gap between the tracks. Okay, so that's Washington Street. I will show you the other end of it. It's a pretty neat station. It's a shame that the upper level was abandoned. They had big plans for this one, but that's just what happens with subway systems. They abandon parts of it. So they abandoned the upper level, and now it's, what was to be. So over here are the remnants of an abandoned stairwell. So they left the cage in front of it. The bars are still there, and these just serve as the barrier over here. So there was a stairwell that went up to the upper level before. If you watch the original full ride up the Gordon Line, it's about 9 minutes, or 12 minutes if I'm correct. You can see when the upper level was still here. So if you want to see that, go watch that, and you will see how this looked when the upper level was still there. So I will increase the render distance to 32, which is fine with shaders, so that you can see this station, because the next station is very close. So Washington Street, so we have exited at Howard Street. So we can go a few streets south and we will run into the Maple Street station. So Getty Street, so there is a Civil War cemetery nearby, Vic Street. So I named some of these ones after some Civil War battles. Then we had a few streets here that had planet names, but this area starting to have some Slavic immigration, so they wanted to rename some of the streets. So you'll see some of the streets are renamed here. Maple Street. So this is Maple Street. It's very close to Washington Street. Over there's the Civil War cemetery. Civil War in this world was it's 1902, so it was about 48 years ago. Something like that, 48, 47, I think. So you'd still have people alive from the Civil War. So WMT Gordon Town Line. I guess this time I decided to call it Gordon Town instead of Gordon Line. Maple Street Station. So I think this one has either. Does this one have 2 entrances or 1? Okay, so this one has 1 mezzanine. You can see some telephone poles over there. I'll make it day. Okay, so it's day now, so you can see better. So WMT Gordon Line, Maple Street Station. What happened to the signs here? That's weird. WMT fare, 15 cents per ride. Why are there no signs here? What happened? Huh. I must have forgot to place them in. That's weird. I thought I put signs there. Exit west side of Swamplands Avenue and Novak Street and Maple Street. Okay, so here's the Maple Street platform. Polish street name, as I mentioned. They have been renamed due to some immigration to this area. And, this area starts having a bit of a Slavic majority, so they decided to rename some streets since they can. So this used to be called Jovian Street, but it was renamed to Maple Street. Oops. That's bad. There we go. Okay, Maple Street. So that's why you see signs here that say Jovian Street. They're just, historical stuff. They didn't want to spend the money to replace these, so they just left it as Jovian Street and only replaced the signs on the pillars. Okay, so come over here. You can see over to the remnants over there. If you remember from the ride of the Gordon Line, there were tracks there before, but now they're gone. Okay, so we pass this sign over here. You have the pony girder there. It's a 2-lane station now. You saw over there the tracks merged. You can come over here. Sort of like Bay Parkway in a sense, because you can see over here to the cemetery. You have some Civil War flags in there and some American flags. So you have the Confederacy flags and the American flags in there so that people know it's a Civil War cemetery. You have the lamps up here. These are cool lamps. Pretty nice. Okay, so you can see down there to the cobblestone street. You can see the telephone poles there. Yeah, so this is a cool elevated line. So, let's go over and head this way. We'll exit Maple Street. Okay, so, exit Novak Street. So, here we are. Yep, down on Novak Street. Okay, let's head down here. So you can walk along the cemetery here. It's a very long cemetery. Even though this city's in Colorado, they started sending some casualties over here. And they had people in this city that were drafted. So, you know, it was just a small town back then, though. This city didn't exist as a city during the Civil War. It was a town, a bunch of towns back then, but people still got sent out, so... yeah, so they built a cemetery over there. Okay, so now we are at Kuiper Street, but that's not the station name. This station's bigger. This one actually has 2 mezzanines instead of just 1, so the cemetery is so big that it reaches this one. This sort of reminds me of Bay Parkway and Avenue N on the F. You have another Standard Oil gas station. So there was a Standard Oil gas station a little bit past Smithtown Road. There is actually one on Radowski Street. So you still have the monopoly. So they have gas stations. I showed what this looks like in the first episode, but here's just another view of it. Okay. So, Gordon Line, WMT, Gordon Town Line Station. So, again, it varies what I decide to put on some of the stations. Another WMT plaque there. There are quite a bit of buildings around here, so that's cool. You have a gas station over there. Not a gas... not a gas station, a factory, a warehouse over there. So maybe in the future that will be turned into some other building. So this side is to Smithtown, and this side is to Cowboy Road. So Polsky Parkway. There we go. Kuipersky Street and Swamplands Avenue. So that road was renamed. Oh, this sign. I guess the city decided to leave this one. So yeah, that's what I thought. It was renamed Kuipersky Street. So it's you know, city budgets, sometimes they don't change all the signs. So there we go. Now it's gone forever. It was a bit of a historical sign, and I probably should have left it for that reason. But yeah, it's gone. Okay, so exit Kuipersky Street. Okay, so we can go over here. Exit Polsky Parkway and you know, Poland Parkway and Swamplands Avenue. So Swamplands Avenue ends over here, and this becomes a trench. Well, not a trench, embankment. So over here, somebody put some anti-Polish message over there, and it looks like the WMT. You know, it took us a bit of time to fix it, but we finally painted over it, so now the paint is a bit off. Somebody also vandalized that. Yeah, so they were upset that we renamed the station from Kuiper Street to Polsky Parkway. So, yeah, we've been having some problems with people vandalizing the station. But, yeah, it looks like they also ripped off part of the benches here. So that's unfortunate. Hopefully this stops happening. There's a hospital over there. So I hope they stop vandalizing my station. That would be nice if people would stop vandalizing my station over here. Okay, so let's head over to the next one. So the next one, we can't just follow this road anymore. So we will exit at Polsky Parkway, again, which just means Poland Parkway. So we'll come over here, WMT indicator, so WMT Gordon Line, Polsky Parkway Station. So this ends over here. This road, Swamplands Avenue, ends at Polsky Parkway. So can't go this way anymore. It becomes an embankment. So what we do is we head this way. There's some phone lines here, which are cool. Wild Road. So now the neighborhood changes. We're no longer in Smithtown. We are now in Erie. So the area where the cemetery starts and south of it is actually a sub-neighborhood of Smithtown called South Smithtown. So this was originally part of Gordontown. Gordontown used to be very massive, but now it's been reduced. So you just see crossings for the elevated subway, which is now an embankment. I don't know if you would count this as elevated, but it is above the street, so, you know, elevated, right? You can still see the station over there for Polsky Parkway, but not when there's more buildings here. You won't be able to. Dutch Street. What else do we have here? Floodplains Road. I think I originally intended to put a station there, but it was canceled because the other stations would have been too close to it. Cliff Street. Rivertown Street. This was originally going to be called Rivertown, and another area was going to be called Watertown. Erie Road. Okay, so here's the station. So this one is called Erie Road, right next to a park. So this is the park. That's Gordon Park, because Erie Road is the division of the Gordontown neighborhood and the new Erie neighborhood. Although this isn't really new anymore. It's been a neighborhood for almost a year now in game. So head over here. WMT Erie Road Station, Gordon Line to Smithtown. So this is a one direction only station. So you enter on this side, and if you swipe here, it only goes to Smithtown. So you cannot transfer at this station. So again, service fare increase, now 15 cents. Okay, so Erie Road. This one's cool. It has mosaics now since we're not elevated anymore. So I did mosaic. So they say WMT, and they also say Erie Road. Oh, there you go. Erie Road, right? It's this one's colored in green and yellow, but you won't see that on this recording. But I can describe the colors to you. These pillars are green. This is a bit of a sand color. There's a bit of a brown border around this. These are black, so these are cool. Okay, so yeah, that's Erie Road. You can see the park starts over there. So that's quite nice. You have the girder over here because it crosses over this street over here. There's a person over there. One of the few people on this map that I've spawned in, one of the NPCs. So that's the exit of Erie Road and Colorado Road and Wild Road. So let's go over here. And yeah, just cross the tracks. You're not actually allowed to cross the tracks, but I own the company, so I can. Okay, so exit Erie Road and Colorado Road and Wild Road. So we'll exit. Actually, I'll show you guys this part. So this sort of goes into this park, Gordon Park. Nice view over there. There will be more buildings, of course. This building's not so nice, but it's a, you know, brick building, good enough. Over here is the park. We had to put up a fence here because the people said it was unsafe. The people in the neighborhood, oh, they were complaining, oh, a child might get run over or something. My company, so I had to deal with it. Had to put a fence there. Yeah, so exit Erie Road and Colorado Road and Wild Road. WMT. Okay, so you exit over here under the tracks. So I sort of took inspiration from Avenue H on the Q line for this one. And of course there are some indicators here. On the ground level stations I put these. So this just indicates that it's WMT. You see the W over there. And not the competitor company, TLT. Ooh, those damn competitors. Colorado Road. Okay, so this is Colorado Road. We won't go that way, but there are streets there. But there's no buildings yet. There's not much there. Over that way, I just have streets labeled A through Z. So they're not streets, they're avenues. And I won't explain much about that until we get over there and start building over there. So let's go into Gordon Town. So this area starts to become the suburbs, sort of suburban, but we still have a embankment line over here. So I think this area will develop in the future. So now there is grass along the embankment and a fence because the NPCs are concerned that some children may be run over by the trains. The park here is beautiful, I might add. It's really beautiful, especially, it's so vibrant. Yep, very beautiful park. This is probably one of my favorite parts of the map right here. This is just so beautiful. Okay, so Negan Road. So here's a station called Negan Road from The Walking Dead. So you have Green Street over there, Tucker Street, Huck Road. So you've got some street names here. Okay, so Green Street. So let's go over to Negan Road so that we can see the station. So there it is. Negan Road. So here's the station. This one is pretty weird. So Gordon Line, Negan Road Station. So let's go over here. You have to walk up and above. WMT fare has increased, of course, to 15 cents. So you can see the trains coming over here as they go. And there's the WMT yard over there. So that's cool. There's a yard there. Realism, right? Entry, Gordon Line. Come in here to Smithtown. You can also go over here and look over the tracks. Again, if this were real, this would be an awesome spot for somebody to rail fan. So this side is to Cowboy Road. There's a walkway over here. You could just jump over, and now you can't get back in. Now you have to walk all the way through the park, back to Erie Road, and I guess that sucks if somebody did that. But they could, I guess if they were a daredevil, they could go beyond restricted area and walk over here. You're not supposed to walk here, but somebody could, and then they get back in. I see him. He's trying to get back in. So let's have a look around the station over here, sort of inspired by Sea Beach, as well as East 105th Street on the L. So the mosaics here are very nice. Negan Road, it contrasts very well. So Negan Road, and WMT. Okay, so you can see over to the neighborhood over there with the houses, and you can see into this pretty park here. Okay, so let's go over to the last station on the line. Okay, so now we arrive at Cowboy Road. That's taking forever. I might increase the speed on that at some point because that is ridiculously slow. Okay, so Cowboy Road. Pretty cool station over here. I put a wall here now, so originally that area was opened and air could just flow through, but now that is walled off. But I did leave this part open so that you can look at the park while you're waiting for the train, but realistically this is a last stop, so since it's a terminal, there would be trains already here, at least one typically. Exit Cowboy Road and Wild Avenue. Here's the waiting area. Okay. Exit Cowboy Road. Fair hike course. The mosaic there, Cowboy Road. The mosaics at this one are brown. So it's a brown, a dark brown and a light brown color, and a mix of white and very dark brown. There are the WMT plaques. It's the W there is gold and the circle's blue with a brown accent. Then you have the indicator here of the WMT. And welcome to the neighborhood, Gordon Town. So there's a hotel here, right? So hotel at the last stop. How fitting. And yeah. So if we continue over here, there is actually some remnants of when the line used to go a bit further. So originally, there were layup tracks over here during construction, but those were canceled. The reason for that is because the company didn't want to spend extra money on building an underpass for an exit, so they canceled the layup tracks and just built flat across. So how about that? So over here you have the remnants of layup tracks, which would have allowed better service, but I guess the company decided to save money. Again, this is a very corrupt transit company. If I haven't mentioned that, I'm going to mention that again. Very corrupt company. It has mafia ties, so. Yeah, so it ends over here. And this is an interesting spot. So there are the original stoppers here, but, you know, they're just there. And they'll continue to sit there. But I do have a possible plan at some point that may extend this line further south. And I know what you're thinking, further south, but didn't you say this would be the most southern point of the city? Originally, yeah, but we've changed our plans. So we're going to have a bit of a second downtown past here. So it would make sense that this line would extend to the second downtown at some point. Okay, so these trees will go one day. But for now, yep, that's how it is. And if we go over here, down Frontier Road, so this is called Frontier Road. It won't be much of a frontier, though, for long, because what I had mentioned about a second downtown being planned, south of Westwood. So Westwood is all the way on the west side of this park. So that was the east side of the Gordon Park, and here's the west side. So this is where the streets are using letter avenues. So Parkside Avenue and Avenue M. Okay, so that's all I'll show for this area, but it goes down to Z. So that was my tour of every Gordon Line station. If you guys enjoyed this one, please remember to subscribe and leave a comment, and turn on notifications so that you can be notified for future uploads. I am WebSoak, and I am out.